The hand holding the letter is made of pure shimmering distortion, like heat haze on a summer road, but holding a crisp pink piece of paper. It belongs to a vaguely humanoid shape of rippling air, an entity old enough to have witnessed the birth of stars. A voice, deep with the echo of 1,000,000,000 years, reads the notice. Violation number 2026-B, unauthorized ethereal presence. Fine, $50. The shimmering entity tilts its head, its confusion so deep it could curdle a nebula. It chose this quiet cul-de-sac because it was boring, utterly cosmically insignificant, the perfect place to rest, or so it thought. Part 1, First Contact. The Glimmer Man isn't a person. It's a localized distortion in reality, a sentient ripple that prefers the quiet of deep forests. For eons, it was just a whisper, a flicker in the corner of an eye. But the forests grew loud and suburbia seemed quiet, deceptively so. It materialized over a manicured lawn at 3:14 a.m. on a Tuesday, causing the air to go unnervingly still, a phenomenon called the Oz factor. That silence was broken at 8:01 a.m. by the squeak of orthopedic sneakers. Brenda Patterson, HOA president, stopped her power walk, her face a mask of permanent disapproval. She wasn't looking at the cosmic being, of course. She was looking at the lawn under it. The St. Augustine grass was warping toward the Glimmer Man's non-feet in a flagrantly non-compliant way. By noon, the first notice appeared, pinned to the shimmering void. The charge, non-compliant lawn distortion. By 3 p.m., a second, failure to maintain approved landscape texture. By dusk, a third, illegal light-bending modifications without architectural committee approval. It turns out absurd HOA violations are a universal constant. Part 2, Escalation by Compliance. The Glimmer Man processes reality as a mathematical equation, and these notices were illogical. But as a guest in this reality, it felt obligated to comply. This was a huge mistake. It first tried to address the lawn, extending a shimmering tendril to mow the distorted patch. Instead of cutting the grass, it folded that section of lawn into the fourth dimension, leaving a perfectly square patch of silent blackness. The next morning, Brenda was there. Violation, unauthorized creation of a pocket dimension on property. Fine, $200. Frustrated, the Glimmer Man tried trimming the reality-warping shrubbery. Its touch was too fundamental. The branch didn't fall. It crystallized into a shower of pure stardust all over the driveway. Brenda's follow-up was scathing. Violation, unapproved driveway surface material, stardust contamination, and failure to adhere to approved earth-based horticultural practices. Finally, she confronted it directly. Unfazed, she was yelling at a hole in the scenery. She jabbed a finger at her binder. "Look, pal, I don't know what kind of experimental military camouflage you are, but per Section 4, subsection C, all properties must maintain a corporeally stable and predictable appearance. You're shimmering. That's a violation." Part 3, the board meeting. The final straw was a summons to an emergency HOA board meeting. Brenda stood before a projector, clicking through a PowerPoint. As you can see from slide 7, the unapproved atmospheric distortion is causing a 15% drop in curb appeal for adjacent properties. The Glimmer Man stood in the corner, its presence making the lights flicker and filling the room with a faint dread. Pushed to its existential limit, it finally spoke. The voice came not from a mouth, but from everywhere at once, sounding of dying stars and grinding tectonic plates. "You have miscalculated." The board froze. Brenda gripped her lectern. The cosmic voice continued, not with a threat, but with a point of order. According to the original 1968 Meadowbrook Estates Charter, page 112, Addendum F, paragraph 3, property covenants do not apply to, and I quote, entities of a non-terrestrial, incorporeal, or otherwise dimensionally transient nature. Part 4, Conclusion. If you believe bureaucracy is the real final boss, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. The room went dead silent. The Glimmer Man had found a loophole in their own charter. Brenda's face, a mask of powerless fury, was more terrifying than any cryptid. The board had no choice but to dismiss all violations. The Glimmer Man had won. It didn't have to smite them or turn them inside out. It simply beat them at their own game. The next morning, it shimmered peacefully on its lawn. But at the edge of the driveway sat a single, HOA-approved bright pink petunia, a small gesture of peace. Or perhaps the ultimate act of petty cosmic defiance.